Arthur's Publishing presents Grumpy Romance by Nia Arthurs, narrated by Jasmine Walker and Lee Samuels at Brickshop Audio, Inc. Chapter 1. The Eruption. Kenya. I know something's off when I walk into my apartment. Our apartment. Mine and Drake's. The air smells stale, like none of the windows have been opened all week. The clock's broken too. The hands are exactly on 12:15. I feel like I'm frozen in time. It's creepy. I tighten my fingers on the sparkly yellow suitcase rattling behind me. The luggage doesn't exactly scream ambitious pencil pusher crawling up the corporate ladder, but the long and pretentious title applies to me, even if no one acknowledges it. It's 7 o'clock on Monday morning, and I just returned from my first business trip. The woman who was supposed to attend the workshop caught chickenpox. Sad for her. Wonderful for me. Somehow, I got an amazing opportunity to prove myself as a competent, knowledgeable member of the team, and I aced it. My reward? Aches and pains from being cramped in economy next to a bodybuilder and his chatty manager, and a generous offer to come in to work 1 hour later than usual. Hurrah! I shuffle deeper into the apartment. My feet protest. The past 48 hours, I've been marching up and down a well-lit conference room, speaking to Bell's beauty sales reps about my top 10 secrets for customer acquisition. It's not like I'm an expert, but I do have experience. I've worked a variety of sales positions since high school. From what I've learned, people just want to feel seen, heard, valued. It's not that complicated. Sure, there are a few pretentious customers who complain over nothing and ruin it for everybody, and those customers suck. But for the most part, people are good. I genuinely believe that. I let the yellow suitcase bang to the ground. The broken clock keeps staring at me. It feels like a bad omen. I pretend it's not there and pad to the bedroom, falling into the twin mattress. My hand automatically slides to Drake's side of the bed. It's cold. Eyebrows wrinkling. I sniff. The sheets still smell like my favorite detergent. Weird. Drake has a particular cologne that gets on everything. I had to change to a different laundry method to get that fresh scent I like. Did he not sleep in our bed all weekend? I crawl out of the bed and stare at the rumpled blanket like it's an alien species. At the moment, my screen lights up with a call from my stepmom. I pick it up. Hey, Felice. Sweetheart, you're up. Perfect. Felice's voice is as breezy and whimsical as her personality. Could you do me a huge favor and go check on your sister? She hasn't been answering any of my calls this weekend. I'm worried. I jerk my attention away from the bed, my body on high alert. Is she okay? Did she relapse? What did the doctor say? Oh, it's nothing like that, Felice says. I let out a sigh of relief. Her last checkup was good. No sign of the cancer coming back. As long as she keeps going in routinely, we'll be fine. That's good, I mutter, but my heart is still beating fast. I suck in a deep breath. Sasha's okay. Everything's okay. Everything's great. When you visit, can you pick up strawberries from the farmer's market? The ones she likes? I stare with bleary eyes at the gray clouds and drizzling rain. And make sure you get the grapes too. Get seedless, all right? It's better for her digestion. A familiar rebellion rises inside me, but I tamp it down. This is about my sister, not about me. I paste a tired smile on my face, although Felice can't see. Of course. I'm worried she won't eat well now that she's got her own place. Sasha's not going to starve herself. I'm still anxious. I hate that she moved 4 hours away. The only thing that makes me sleep at night is that she's living close to you. Don't worry. I'll keep an eye on her. You're such a good sister, Kenya. In fact, people think you two are blood related, you know. I tell them you and Sasha might as well be. My chuckle is short but genuine. I met Sasha when she was 13 and I was 15. My dad married her mom and we moved in together. She used to follow me around everywhere. It was kind of adorable. How are things with you and Drake? Felice asks. I drag myself to the closet and pull out a thick jacket along with a cute red dress. It's a bit overdone for work, but I haven't seen Drake all weekend. We've exchanged a couple texts and one phone call, but it only made me miss him more. I want his jaw to drop when we meet up later. That's the only acceptable expression. We're good. He's super excited about a promotion at work. Thank God. I barely saw him at home when he was competing for that position. When are you two getting married? Felice asks, a teasing edge to her tone. Anticipation makes my heart slam against my ribs. I try to keep it out of my voice. Oh, we're not in a rush. Sweetheart, what's the holdup? You and Drake have been together for what, 3 years now? Yeah, we met my second year of college. It was like something out of a movie. The dashing basketball jock, the shy lit major. A romance no one saw coming. Hallmark will call to make a movie about our love story, I'm sure. See? That's more than enough time to put a ring on it. I sit on the edge of the bed and pull out my adorable ankle-high boots. When we're both ready, it'll happen. All right, I know a brush off when I hear one. I laugh. Give Sasha a kiss for me, sweetheart, and tell her to answer the dang phone when I call. I will, Felice. The line goes dead. My plans of getting a few hours of extra sleep derailed. I shower and dress for the day. As I hop out of my steaming bathroom, the odd something's not right feeling passes through me again. I freeze. Walk back. Stare at the tiny sink where Drake and I keep our toothbrushes. His favorite face care products are gone. That man moisturizes like he's allergic to dry skin. I've never seen him run out. My heart flip-flops. I notice his toothbrush is still there. So are his prize-signed basketball jerseys. He wouldn't leave without taking those. Calling Drake's phone leads me to voicemail. The uneasy feeling doubles. Something's weird about today. The bed dips as I sink into the edge of it. I haul the ankle boots on, grab my purse from the closet, and stalk past the mirror. My harried reflection reveals a dark-skinned woman with a deep crease between her eyebrows, a flared nose, and frizzy black hair. I threw my coils into a bun because I don't have the time or the patience to wash it. Whenever my hair gets attention, it's a 12-hour affair. There's deep conditioning, sectioning, shampoo, conditioner, detangling. The styling part is another 6 hours. Whoever said natural hair was easier than relaxed hair owes me an apology. Once outside, I take a deep breath and smile at the earthy scent of rain. The clouds are gray and the sky is angry, but it doesn't scare me. The city is getting a much-needed rinse down. All is well. As I walk to the bus stop, I tell myself I'm being ridiculous. A broken clock is a broken clock. And maybe Drake ran out of his favorite products. That explains why they're missing from the counter. I'm exhausted and overthinking everything. Drake's been an amazing boyfriend, and I'm an amazing employee. I should be celebrating. I know I impressed the higher-ups with my sales performance, or they wouldn't have invited me to HQ. After only a few months fetching coffee and feeling like I was dating the printer, they tapped me into the business meeting. That means I'm being noticed. Is that a coincidence? No way, not even close. When I worked in the department store, I stole the crown of Employee of the Month 3 times straight. I know how to draw people in. Now that I'm a temp at Bell's Beauty HQ, I've been using every opportunity to prove I'm a hard worker. Yeah, my lit degree is gathering dust while I head in a completely new direction, but student loans don't really care if I'm following my dreams. I love food too much to be a starving artist. What's important is that I'm no longer traipsing from one temp gig to another. It looks like I'm on the road to a permanent position. Good things, no, great things, are going to happen for me. I catch the bus to the farmer's market and absorb the cacophony of activity. Baskets of fresh fruits delight the eyes. Flowers, paintings, and old antiques are everywhere. Customers haggle over prices. Crowds jostle for warm coffee. I'm in serious need of Java, but I get the strawberries and grapes first. Doesn't take me long to make the purchase, and I reward myself with a cup. I slurp loudly and ignorantly. An old man gives me a dirty look, but I forgive him because he's probably not gotten his coffee yet, and even I hate people before that first sip. The coffee keeps me company while I catch a bus to Sasha's apartment. So far, the rain still hasn't let up. Not a problem. My umbrella's handy right here. When I finally stumble into Sasha's building, I'm wide awake thanks to the mad dash from the bus stop to her front door. Shaking my umbrella to rid some of the water, I twist it tightly and lock it. It makes a click when it hits the floor and I smile. Using the umbrella as a cane and channeling my inner gangster, I swagger to Sasha's front door and tap my knuckles against it. No response. Hey, Sash, you home? From inside, I hear a faint groaning sound. Panic overtakes me. Is Sasha hurt? Did she faint and hit her head against the tub? Do I need to call an ambulance? What if her cancer came back? Dropping the act, I shove my hand into my giant purse and search for the spare keys Felicia slipped me when Sasha moved to the city. My fingers shake and the keys jangle noisily, protesting my lack of coordination. Why do I always shake like an addict going cold turkey in times of crisis? With a deep breath, I steady my fingers and stick the key into the lock. There. Open. I desperately crash through Sasha's front door and barrel into the living room. My eyes skate across the overly girly decor, fuzzy pink pillows and a soft purple couch, funky beaded chandelier, fuzzy orange rug. Sasha fancies herself an Elle Woods aficionado, and her apartment reflects that. It's a little outrageous, a little cutesy, very endearing, even if it's hard to understand. I swivel directions and head toward her bedroom. Then I smell it. That. It's Drake's cologne. I'd be able to pick it out in a crowd because I'm the one who got him his first set. He loves it and douses it on liberally wherever he goes. My fingers tighten on the bag of strawberries and grapes. The rustling sound is soft, like the wind rushing through the trees, but the groaning that comes from Sasha's room is loud and breathy and way too low to be a sign of pain. It finally dawns on me. What I heard outside, the sound that made me barge into my sister's place uninvited, was not an "I've fallen and I can't get up" groan. It was something else. Something a lot more private. I take a step back, heat burning my face. My sister is an adult, so it shouldn't surprise me that she's getting certain itches scratched. But I still remember her as the scrawny tween who wanted to be everywhere I was. It's hard to reconcile what I knew of her to that of an adult who can... She's breathing hard. Must be nice. I should go. Maybe I'll call Drake and find out where he is. See if we can meet up to get our own time in. The weekend apart was long enough to go without holding him. You like that, baby? I freeze. All of me goes cold. Every single part. Why did that voice sound like my boyfriend of 3 years? I swear I have an out-of-body experience while I desperately try to make sense of everything my brain is throwing at me. It can't be Drake. Even though it's the very same timbre, the very same growl, the very same husk that he uses when we're loving on each other. It's not him. Maybe it's his brother. Maybe it's a close relative or an impersonator. People are into all kinds of crazy things these days. Impersonators aren't the weirdest. Who am I kidding? Stretching one foot in front of the other, I approach Sasha's bedroom door like one of those blondes in a horror movie. The little voice in my head is screaming at me the way I scream at the TV. What are you doing, you idiot? Don't you dare go into that room. What are you opening the door for? Are you stupid? Do you want to die? See, this is why Black people can't be in horror movies. We'd run at the first sign of danger. But I keep walking. Turns out, running straight toward death might not be a black or white thing. It might be a person in a horror movie thing. Because even though I'm scared of what I might see, I can't stop walking toward the door. Can't stop the curiosity and the dread twining in my veins. Can't stop the pounding in my head that urges to keep going even if it hurts. I have to see. Have to know. I push the door with my hand. It opens slowly. Oh. Oh my God. The bag of fruit falls out of my hand. Grapes and strawberries roll through the room, scattering like teardrops on the floor. I gasp, terrified by the sight of my sister on top of my boyfriend. I can't see what body parts are sticking into each other because a blanket is draped over their hips, but I can guess by the way they're moving that they're not exactly praying under there. Yes, Sasha is bawling. Drake! Drake? Heart pounding at the confirmation. I twitch. The next thing I know, the umbrella is gone from my hand. I see it sailing through the air as if I'm not really connected to my body, as if I'm having some kind of trippy dream. The umbrella slams Sasha square in the middle of her tan back. She curses and goes sprawling down on Drake's chest. He makes a garbled sound of distress as she crashes into him. The angle must have been painful. I hope she broke it. I hope he can never have kids because of it. The hell? Sasha flings her hand and presses it to her back. Her neck twists next and her head whips around. That's when our gazes collide. Deafening silence fills the room as she stares at me. It's funny the way horror crawls over her expression. If it wasn't my sister and my boyfriend, if it wasn't my life, it would be almost satisfying to see that split second of, oh damn, I got caught, slip into her eyes. But it is my boyfriend, and it is my sister, in bed, together, making the beast with two backs, as Shakespeare would say. My hands start shaking again. Holy crap. This can't be happening. Kenya! Sasha gasps, grabbing for the blankets and covering herself. Her long, straight black hair curtains half her face. Big brown eyes, soft and soulful like her Mexican grandmother, dart to the ground. Kenya? That voice belongs to my boyfriend. Ex-boyfriend, as of now. Drake pokes his head up from where it had been resting on Sasha's fuchsia pink pillow. He's sweating a little. I guess he was putting in some work. His jaw is square. His beard is long, full, and perfectly lined. He's got big brown eyes and a sharp set of cheekbones. Chocolate perfection. It hurts. So much. The whites of his eyes threaten to overtake everything else as he stares at me like he wants to climb under a rock. Pain rattles through my chest. I can't breathe. I can't think. Flight or fight? The instincts roar inside my head. Should I grab the umbrella and go mad? Should I offer my sister and jerk of an ex-boyfriend a lashing they'll never forget? Kenya, I can explain, Sasha says, her voice tight. All at once, I'm too overwhelmed to keep standing there in a room that smells like sweat and lovemaking. I need out. I need air. I pump my arms and try to run, but my heels catch on the shag rug at the foot of the bed, tripping me up. My arms flail. I wobble in an attempt to keep upright, but I step on a grape instead and it upends me further. I fall hard, landing on my elbows. My bones rattle and a physical pain jangles my fingers all the way up to my shoulder. I come nose to nose with Sasha's lingerie that was apparently discarded right along with Drake's boxers. Tears fill my eyes, but I forbid myself from crying. Kenya, are you okay? Wow, my sister sounds like she actually cares. That's ironic, isn't it? Not only that she's concerned about my fall, but that she thinks I could be okay right now. Who in their right mind would be okay in this scenario? My sister and boyfriend are screwing each other, and I just fell hard on my face. I'm freaking peachy. Scrambling to my hands and knees, I push myself up and throw myself at the door. Kenya, wait! I hear cloth rustling and footsteps pattering the ground behind me. All of a sudden, this is a horror movie. Except there's no guy in a mask with a chainsaw. There's no clown peeping at me from the sewage pipes. There's no possessed doll rising from my collection with an evil sneer. I'm being chased by my naked sister, a white sheet trailing behind her. She doesn't have a knife because she already slammed it straight into my heart. I'm the one bleeding. I'm the one fighting to survive. Kenya, please, wait a minute. I power through the living room without looking back. There's a picture of our family on the television stand. There's Dad, his shorn hair and dark face beaming at the camera. There's Felice, her tan skin, bright brown eyes, and warm smile catching all the light. And then there's me and Sasha. I've got my arms around her. My hair is kinky curly while hers is long and straight. My skin is dark while hers is a sun-kissed tan. Different, but the same. Sisters. Not by blood, but by choice. I charge down the stairs and crash through the exits. My mouth is open, big gulps. I'm out in the street and people give me funny looks while I race past them. A dark-skinned teenager sees me running and he takes off too, needing no explanation other than that a fellow sister is on the move. I want to tell him it's okay. I'm not running from thugs, I'm running from family. Isn't that nice? A glance over my shoulder reveals Sasha has given up the chase. My phone rings. It's Walt from work. You need to come in, now, Walt says without so much as a greeting. I stare unseeingly at the horizon, the cell phone in my ear. My arms hurt, my head, my heart. Do you hear me, Kenya? Someone very important is visiting today, and you need to be here to... I understand. He makes a choked sound and probably wants to scold me, but I don't give him the chance. I hang up on him and drift to the bus stop, my eyes on the ground and my body extremely numb. The world passes me by and I don't really register a thing. Somehow I get on a bus and get off on the right stop. The moment I walk into Bell's Beauty HQ, I wish I'd just gone home. Walt is standing guard at the front desk, his eyes squinting at me like I ran over his dog. Not a great addition to my day, but it's too late to whirl around and head home. He's caught me. Walt frowns. "You're late, Kenya." My nostrils flare. Usually, I wouldn't say a thing. After so many years of working under annoying bosses, I've trained myself to keep my sharp comments at bay. Plus, this job pays much better than when I was working in the store. I'm not in a hurry to lose it. But the image of my sister and boyfriend together is tattooed behind my eyelids, and I'm a little short on patience. Walt wags a finger in my face. "Do you think you can slack off without repercussions? This isn't a playing ground. I expect more from you." "You're the one who told me I could come in an hour later," I snap. Walt blinks rapidly, his thick cheeks swelling as he gives me an astonished look. I glare right back at him. He turns a bright shade of red. "Check your attitude, young lady. You had our very important guest waiting for an hour and—" "That's enough, Walt." My eyes lift to the man stalking around the corner. My heart trips over itself. Holy Fitzwilliam Darcy. It's too horrible a day for a man so fine to descend from Mount Olympus. Over 6 feet of chiseled muscle strains beneath an Italian suit that probably costs as much as 3 student loan payments combined. The sharpness of his chin. Divine. Thick brown hair like a shampoo commercial. The slashing eyebrows, well-groomed beard, and a cut of his cheekbones all whisper, "He's as dangerous as his do anything to annoy me and I will end you scowl insinuates." What makes me almost forget about my awful morning, though, are those eyes. Sure, they're hazel, but to call them a pretty brown or amber or even unique would be a gross letdown of the English language. His golden-toned eyes are sunbursts, thrumming with a cold, lashing energy. Still so riveting it's impossible not to draw close to the fire, even though you know it'll burn and probably even kill you. His gaze sends an instant thrill down my spine and my whole body tightens. My toes curl inside my rain-drenched ankle boots. I feel like I've just been electrocuted. He has to be the new spokesmodel for the company, right? There were talks of expanding the product line into men's care. "This is the sales associate who attended the workshop?" Hercules frowns. His expression lingers on me, making it hard to keep my balance. One eyebrow arches higher than the other as if I'm expected to curtsy or kiss his hand. Are all men this obnoxious? I fold my arms over my chest and meet the jerkface's stare head on. Running out the door with my tail between my legs is only going to happen once today. Once. His regard turns even icier. If I were a little more like myself, I would have glanced down to check if my zipper were open or if I had something on my face. But I'm not in my right mind at the moment. I'm delirious with hurt and fury. And he so happens to be the closest and most deserving target. "It's impolite to stare," I snap. Walt's eyes widen. The stranger shifts his feral gaze away from me and locks it on the chubby manager. "This is her?" Walt bobs his head. Stroking his chin, the cold stranger returns his glare to me and watches with a clenched jaw. I frown. "Can I help you?" Walt stares up at the man like he owes the guy money. "Why don't you just rest in my office, sir? I'll send Kenya to get you a cup of coffee before we talk." My jaw drops and an astonished laugh pops out of it. I'm a doormat. A freaking doormat. It must be tattooed on my forehead. Total pushover. Can screw boyfriend. Not that I think Mr. Grumpy Pants would want my boyfriend. He strikes me as the type who's so self-absorbed he's evolved beyond human dating. I can see him looking into mirrors, sweet-talking an electronic version of himself. A jerk. Why Walt is working his butt off to please this guy is not my concern, but dragging me into the ridiculous power play in order to stroke an attractive stranger's ego? Yeah, I'm not going to be a part of that. Walt makes a slight hand gesture, shooing me away. I fold my arms over my chest. Fetching coffee is not in my job description. Walt's eyes widen. "Kenya, you're going beyond your boundaries, Walt, and I'm not going to take it." His jaw drops. "I don't care. I'm here early even though you gave me an hour off today, and I didn't complain about that." I speak calmly, but I can hear my voice start to climb. "Even though I've been working all weekend and I deserve a full day off, I took the crumbs you threw at me and didn't complain." "Shut up, Kenya," the little voice in my head chirps. You need this job. You have bills to pay. And now that you're breaking up with Drake, you'll need to find somewhere else to live. You might have to pay more rent. It's not the time to act brave. But I keep seeing Drake and Sasha in bed and the acid keeps pouring out of my mouth. If you're asking me for a favor, I'll consider it, but bossing me around is not going to fly here. The hot stranger continues with his grumpy stare down. It's strange. Tucked behind his frigid stare is an undeniable assessment, and it's aimed at me. I stare into his annoyingly gorgeous face and dig my fingers into my purse. This time, I'm too nervous to hold my ground. Butterflies take flight in my stomach and make it impossible not to feel flustered. He holds a big hand up and points it directly at me. How long has she been working here? I grit my teeth, annoyed by the fact that he's talking about me when I'm standing right there. Walt makes a motion with his hands. She just started about 3 months ago. Previously, she was working in a store, but she was responsible for so many sales at the product relaunch that we brought her into HQ on probation. The stranger glances at me again. She's the one who tripled sales? With this attitude? I want to slap his face. Who does this guy think he is, my father? He should try getting cheated on and betrayed by his sister. Maybe he'll have a smiley disposition and higher BS tolerance. You need this job, Kenya. My mouth doesn't seem to be in agreement with my brain. Do you know how disrespectful you're being right now? Hot Grunt blinks rapidly. Me? Read my lips, Neanderthal. If you have any questions, you can direct them to me. I have nothing to say to you. My blood boils. Of course he's a giant prick. Of course. Because today seems like the day where men turn out their skins and show their real, worst selves to me. At least the rose-colored glasses have been stripped from my eyes. Walt is capering behind the stranger, shaking his head no and motioning for me to zip my lips. Really? You want me to cram it shut when this guy who doesn't even know me is being mega disrespectful? With a snort, I stand my ground. If looks could kill, there would be a mushroom cloud where this rude, pretentious, wickedly handsome jerk is standing. Kenya, why don't you calm down and come with me? Walt mumbles. I'm not going anywhere with you. I give the jerk a floppy wave. I'm here to work, so if you'll excuse me. Freeze. I go still. Not because the stranger's command is that powerful, which it kind of is, but because I can't believe he just said that. Freeze? As if we're playing cops and robbers and you're the hero who came to save the day? Is this narcissist for real? Does he think he's my boss or something? Before I can string all the colorful 4-letter words in my mind together and fling them at him like an atomic bomb, the stranger stomps closer to me. You're going to pack up your things and you're going to HR. His voice is as delicious as his face, but the words. I met his eyes and frown. Can he do that? He can't, right? Confusion descends as I try to figure out what's going on. It's a challenge to keep my wits about me given how close his stupidly gorgeous face is to mine. My inquiring gaze shifts to Walt. He swallows and glances down, shaking his head as if I dug my own coffin and he's not going to help me out of it. Didn't you hear me? The stranger growls. The sound is almost barbaric. I blink, shocked at his tone. It's only a momentary pause. Anger surges forward again. I still have some choice words lined up for him, but before I can push those suckers out, he folds his arms over his chest and his brows plunge together in a pointy V. You know, I'm starting to think he didn't descend from Olympus. He's probably kicked out because of his heartless behavior. Who are you to tell me where I can and can't go? I snap. He looks astonished again. How did you get this far being so unlikable? Me? I'm the unlikable one. How dare you? I scowl. You don't know me. I bet you wouldn't last one day in my shoes. I bet, I give him a once-over, you've never had to work a day in your life, and with that pretty face, people don't say no to you. Well, I'll be the first. I don't care how important you think you are. I'm not going to bow to you just because you snarl at me. Kenya, stop it. Stop it. Walt prances to me and grabs my hand like I'm a red zone pit bull jerking on the chain. Let me go. Walt points to the stranger. This is Holland Alistair. I don't give a... Our boss. Boss? All the fight leaves my body at once. He's the owner of Belle's Beauty. Boss. Colossal Prick is the owner of the beauty label. That doesn't make sense. He doesn't look like someone who cares about organic skincare products. Did he inherit this business? Or is Walt playing a joke on me? Why didn't you just say that? I hiss, horrified. Mr. Alastair turns away from me. Take her to HR. Yes, sir. I stare at his back as Alastair walks down the hall. The view from behind is just as good as the front. Too bad that knowledge is going to cost me. Alastair's tone remains arrogant as he calls over his shoulder. Ms. Jones, pack up all your things. I see the full picture in an instant, and it's not looking pretty. Pathetic girl, 0. Massive jerk face, 1. Walt gives me a sucks to be you look. I return it with a scowl and then point my glare at the brute. If I had my umbrella with me, I would have let it fly at his back, for sure. What a wonderful day. My boyfriend betrayed me, my sister stabbed me in the back, and now I'm about to lose my job. I can't go any lower than this. My eyes slide around the room for something I can throw. It would be satisfying to hit him just once. At least I can get free housing and 3 meals a day in prison. I'm sorry, Kenya, Walt whispers, grabbing my arm. Sorry? He's sorry. How does that help me now? You heard him. You need to pack your things and report to HR. As Walt ushers me off on the walk of shame, I can't resist tossing a dark look over my shoulder. The prick, Alastair, is turning back too. He's watching me with an assessing look, and I can't quite interpret. He doesn't seem confused or annoyed anymore. It's more like he's grudgingly intrigued. Maybe he's the kind of sadist who gets off on hiding his identity and axing innocent employees when they don't recognize him. The most annoying part of this whole thing is even after his insufferable behavior, he's still gorgeous. Maybe I'm just delirious from all the horrible things that have happened today. I need to go home and lie down. Wait, I don't have a home to lie down in because I'm moving out of Drake's apartment. My steps are heavy when I follow Walt to HR. I will not allow Mr. Giant Ego or Drake or even my sister to keep me down. I'm going to show them all that I'm stronger than they ever thought I was, and no amount of betrayal or icy hazel eyes will stop me.
Chapter 2. The Hellcat. Holland. Her bun tilts at an awkward angle from the force of her head whip. She massages her wrist as Walt drags her to HR. My eyes fasten on the way she cradles her arm. Is she injured? A flash of regret strikes me, but I get rid of it fast. If she was in pain, she could have spoken up like a mature adult rather than scream and snap like a lunatic. I have no time for tirades, and that woman seems to be full of them. What do you know about working hard? The ignorant ones are always the loudest. I guarantee I've sacrificed more in my life than she could ever know. She's welcome to keep her narrow-minded opinions, of course. I'm not going to correct her. I lift my phone and glance at the employee sheet that was sent to my email. Kenya Jones, 3-time Employee of the Month, Darwin Department Store's star saleswoman. How could someone like her cause such a stir in the company? I can't imagine she would convince many customers to choose Bell's beauty products with such rough mannerisms. Yet the facts speak for themselves. I've received incredible feedback about her performance at the workshop. Words like sunny disposition and contagious charisma were thrown around by the managers. I wonder if they've all been hit in the head. Or perhaps they're suffering from mass hysteria. The other conclusion is, of course, that something about me brings out the tigress in this woman. A valid theory. And it's not one-sided. Something inside me responded to her sharp glares and her even sharper tongue. It was raw, carnal, and completely uncontrollable. Frightening, really. It's been a while since a woman has made me feel anything. Not since Claire. But that's different. She's nothing like Claire. Not at all. And yet, an electric current swam through my veins when Kenya Jones shot her verbal poisoned darts at me. Even now, there's no hiding my interest. There's something about that woman. Unfortunately. My steps slow. My eyes return to her, even when I tell them to move away. I notice the way she turns and watches me too. Deep onyx eyes. They glitter with flames. A line digs into her brown forehead, and her lips, full, kissable, and a shade of purple-brown, twist into a hard scowl. She knows who I am. The boss. Not someone to be trifled with. And she's still snarling. Have I just encountered a hellcat? I frown at her, wondering if I should keep her or toss her. "Screw you," she mouths. My eyes widen. She turns her head away, and I find I cannot do the same. Why am I so fixated on her? Could it be the way her red dress hugs her petite body, highlighting curves that beg for my touch? Could it be the way the top stretches across her generous cleavage, or the skirt that flares around her hips? I can tell she's got a plump backside. I imagine cupping her tightly. I have a feeling she would be soft beneath my palm. A sinful thought. An even more wicked image. I brush it away. She's messing with my head. Or my several years of celibacy have finally caught up to me. Perhaps I should return Kayla's calls and plant myself in Make It Marriage's chair again. Perhaps not. I doubt the matchmaker would care to find me a friends with benefits relationship. She is annoyingly devoted to her mission. Make it marriage. Marriage! It's in the name, Holland. I can hear her even now. I glance at Miss Jones's employee sheet again and try to stay focused. She's smiling prettily in her headshot. It's an expression I didn't know her face was capable of, especially after what transpired between us. Shame that I'm just as attracted to her scowling face as I am to her smiling one. That doesn't bode well for our professional cooperation. I'll need to keep her scowling. At least then she won't get too soft on me and tempt me with things I can't have. That went well. The dry voice belongs to Ezekiel, my executive assistant. I like to think of him as the Alfred to my Batman, if I could be so bold. He's got a dry wit, an impassive face, and he's always one step ahead on delivering what I need. I figure that's enough to overlook the fact that he doesn't have the British accent. Ezekiel approaches from the conference room. His wrinkled hands are filled with a stack of heavy binders. I move swiftly over to him and scowl. There's no need to personally deliver the files when we can have them sent over. Some things are better done yourself. He shoos me away when I try to snag the binders from him. Ezekiel takes great pride in his work. He's been known to snap at me when I doubt his abilities. I slip a hand into my pocket and glance at the empty hallway. Walt and Miss Jones have disappeared. Ezekiel's low voice echoes behind me. She doesn't take to you. The feeling is mutual. Sort of. I take to her body, if that counts. Should I tell them there's a change of plans? Ezekiel arches a bushy gray eyebrow. His chin is as pointy as his nose, which protrudes noticeably and is a little crooked thanks to a fight he's never told me about. Change of plans? I frown. He blinks steadily at me, as if I should know. As if he doesn't have the energy or the inclination to spell it out. Why would I change the plans? She's uncontrollable. I cock my head to the side. But I like that. She has no respect for authority. I like that too. Ezekiel glowers at me. She's beautiful. That has nothing to do with her capabilities. You've noticed. Who wouldn't notice? There will be no change of plans. Ezekiel studies me. He may be many things. Intelligent, quick on his feet, inflexible, and so tightly wound I worry he's going to end up in the ER for an aneurysm. But he's loyal and trusts my decisions. Finally, he dips his chin. Shall we head back to the car? Our work here is done. I nod. He hustles forward, opening the door for me and escorting me to the truck that's waiting downstairs. On the way to Fine Industries, I open my phone and thumb through Kenya Jones's employee files once more. A lit major. I wonder if she was disappointed when the only job she could get after graduation was at a department store. Working as a store clerk seems like a steep departure from her major. Perhaps it was intentional? I don't know. Ezekiel's phone rings. He answers brusquely. Walt. Yes? Yes. His stony eyes meet mine as he turns to look over his shoulder. She won't be fired? You know the answer. Walt's asking. No, he's not. I won't repeat myself. Ezekiel sighs like a parent tired of disciplining their child and now content to let them make mistakes without interference. Continue as we've discussed. Tell HR to clear out the last of any payment owed and then send her to the Fine building for her next assignment. Ezekiel listens to something on the other end and his eyes snap to mine. He pulls the phone away. What if she learns the nature of her next assignment and chooses not to stay? Then don't tell her, I say simply, scrolling to another page of the PDF. I'll convince her myself. Ezekiel's thin upper lip goes stiff. Get her to the Fine building at all costs. Use your discretion. I toggle to the page that has the manager's feedback from the workshop. My eyes snag on that sunny disposition line again. I recall Kenya's snarling face and shudder. Where? First impressions aside, Miss Jones's work speaks for itself. I won't argue with results, and I need her particular skill set. Social interaction isn't my thing, and neither is sales. I'm a data man. And though I delight in being left alone with my computer and my statistics, I understand that there is a need for a human touch in business. It's why I value what Kenya Jones can bring. Her track record is almost miraculous, much better than the management team I hired to oversee Belle's Beauty while I focused on my contactless real estate empire. Today's decision was not taken lightly. Kenya's name was appearing on progress reports from one store to the next. It caught my attention at just the right time. I'm in a bit of a spot. My last assistant cracked under the pressure and left her resignation letter several weeks ago. The expectations I have for Belle's Beauty was more than she could take. Something tells me that Kenya wouldn't be so fragile. I have a feeling she's exactly what Belle's Beauty is in need of. Someone with spunk, with guts, with a sharp tongue and poisoned darts that shoot out of impossibly plump lips. No. That mouth is not something I should be thinking of with such eagerness. Not if I'm going to be working as closely with her as I need to. I keep business and pleasure separate, at all times. No exceptions. Kenya's left her mark, though. And given the ache down south, it's safe to say I want her. On my management team, in my bed. It's hard to say which excites me more. Troubled, I stare at the passing city and try to find my equilibrium again. One woman can't shake many years of self-restraint. I'm not living for myself anymore. There's something much more important to consider. It's why I need to become more involved in Belle's Beauty. It's not just a company. It's a legacy. And I hate that none of the management companies know how to make that legacy thrive. Ezekiel.
Yes, sir.
Contact Make It Marriage. Make an appointment with Kayla, I say. Ezekiel gives me his signature blank stare, tugs on the cuffs of his stiff white shirt, and nods. I inwardly squirm. Don't worry about why I need Make It Marriage after 5 years. Just pretend it's a normal task.
I'll see that your visit to Make It Marriage remains discreet,
Ezekiel says in a dry tone. The fine building rises into view, tall and grand. I built Fine Industries after getting told that contactless real estate was insane and would never catch on. My program was rejected by everyone in the business. Fast forward 10 years later, and I'm the CEO of the world's leading contactless agency. I've shown that I can take impossible or grandiose ideas and turn them into billions of dollars. Now, the companies that rejected me are the ones begging to work with me. Ezekiel and I climb out of the car and head into the elevator.
Your meeting with the spokesmodel is in 10 minutes.
He pulls out his phone and swipes.
But I've gotten word that she's already waiting in your office.
I scowl. Who let her into my office? The elevator keeps going up.
Our security team finds it very hard to handle her.
Fire the guard who let her through. Reprimand Stanley. My head of security should run a tighter ship. Ezekiel nods.
Yes, sir.
He taps furiously on his phone. I stride into my spacious office with a bird's eye view of the city. Silver, black, and red are the main color themes. Or so my interior designer said when I paid her an exorbitant amount of money to prepare this space. There's a minibar in the corner and a cabinet filled with top-shelf liquor for when I'm entertaining. The model, Sizzle, yes, that's her name, touches one of her long, pale fingers to my prized whiskey. I want to smack her hand away, but she would probably have me sued and plastered all over the news for assault. Keeping my peace, I pretend not to notice her and stride to my desk. Ezekiel follows me.
I'll let you know when Kayla is available.
Thank you, I say. Sizzle hears us and spins, her heavily Botoxed face straining to smile while none of her cheek muscles are cooperating.
Holland!
Ezekiel turns to leave. I call him back. Let me know when Miss Jones arrives. He dips his head. Sizzle sachets toward me after Ezekiel closes the door. She's a tall, slim woman. Her green dress drips with elegance. She's got an old Hollywood flair that's hard to fake and even harder to hold on to. Sizzle's waning popularity made her almost obsolete, but for my purposes, she's well worth her hefty endorsement check. Fine Industries isn't looking to serve young adults who praise the latest social media stars. Our data has ruled that the younger generation are, increasingly, living at home to avoid the rising cost of home ownership. Folks in their mid-30s to upper 50s, the demographic who remembers Sizzle from her glory days, are exactly the right targets. I want those who would otherwise avoid technology to see Sizzle's face and believe that ours is a product worth trusting. Our calculations have worked out brilliantly. Sizzle tripled our initial investment, and I've already signed her on for a second campaign. She slows her walk as if she's a bride dragging a heavy train. Her hips shift back and forth in a slow, deliberate sway. I wonder if she'll do a pageant bow, or perhaps wave to an audience of invisible fans.
It's been too long since we've seen each other, Holland,
She stops right at my desk, and I'm grateful there's a barrier between us, or she would have been up in my face.
How have you been?
Busy, as usual. I flip open a document and scan it intently. It's easier to pretend she's not there than allow my annoyance to take control. Female feelings are so fragile. And right now, Sizzle is a product I need to handle with kid gloves.
I heard your company was featured in Forbes. I was so excited when I saw the articles online.
She giggles.
You don't seem excited.
Only because I control my emotions more strictly than others. She laughs again, and it sounds like nails against a chalkboard.
We should get a drink to celebrate.
She rounds the desk and leans into my personal space. Her breath smells like coffee and something a little acidic. I put my hand on her shoulder and ease her back. Perhaps another time.
Oh, come on now.
She places a hand on my chest.
A gentleman shouldn't turn down a lady who asks him out.
You're mistaken. My eyes harden. I'm no gentleman. She shudders like I licked her ear.
Oh, I love it when you talk gruffly, Holland.
This woman is delusional. I shoot to my feet and walk to the file cabinets. Somehow, she doesn't notice I'm running from her. Perhaps too many years of cameras flashing in her eyes has given her a brain injury. Or maybe choosing to be polite is ruining my ability to convey my distaste.
I'm so lonely these days.
She slips her dress sleeve down her shoulder, revealing creamy white skin. Walking closer to me, she whispers,
I could use a friend.
Hard to believe you would be in need of company.
You'd be surprised at how dense men can be, especially when a woman is flashing all the right signals.
She follows me like a shadow.
What would you suggest in a matter like that, Holland? How does a woman get a man to notice her?
Since she's following me, I lead her to the door. A good question. Perhaps you should ask someone who has more time and interest. Ezekiel, maybe? I open the door and gesture to it. I need to get back to work. Her seductive smile drips into a frown.
You're always working, Holland. When do you have time for fun?
I gesture to the door, out of patience. If she asks me any more foolish questions, I'm going to snap at her, and then I'm going to be down a very lucrative spokesmodel. No need to ruin a good thing with my own impatience. I'm grateful when she finally takes the hint.
Fine. I can see that you're in a funk. Why don't I come back another time?
Please don't. We have a meeting in 10 minutes.
Yes, but I'm not in the mood now.
She pouts. Fine. We'll reschedule.
Perhaps at a more private venue?
She purrs. No, you'll be meeting with my PR team from now on. We have no reason to meet in private. Sizzle scowls. I motion to the exit again. She rolls her eyes and stomps through the door. At least she leaves without further comment. Grateful for the silence, I return to my desk and look through the latest data pull. I let a team handle day-to-day tasks, but I like to keep my finger on the pulse in case there are cracks in the code. Life is a flux of new variables, constantly throwing a wrench in the algorithm. Data is no different. I comb over the numbers with precision. I'm known for being unbending, rigid, and demanding of all technicians. Impossible standards is the feedback. But a high salary and great benefits means a low turnover rate. There are always enough hands on the wheel, even if I rarely take mine away. Control. I don't have an easy time letting go of it. It's why Fine Industries has a reputation for excellence. It's also why I feel more and more drained every day. When this latest data update is pushed through, I'll raise the pay for each of the technicians and license the program to other companies. A royalty deal is something I've been fighting against, but I can't do everything on my own. To grow this company to the next level, I need to learn to give up just a little more control. By midday, Kenya Jones still hasn't reported to my office. I take a sip of my tepid coffee and scowl at the door. I'm in a state of limbo, and it's starting to annoy me. I press the button on my telephone. Ezekiel?
Yes, sir.
Any word from Walt?
No, sir.
Call him and get back to me. Tell him Miss Jones needs to be in my office in the next hour, or he might need to reconsider his position.
Yes, sir.
I push the coffee away, move to the bar, and pour myself a glass of whiskey to take the edge off. The view of the city is breathtaking, enough to get my mind off the restlessness. Cars speed down the highway. I see another algorithm. A million strings of code heading toward their destination in a desperate pull to get more. More money, more time, more things. I have all the money I could ever want, but I still feel like them. Like I'm on a treadmill with no brakes. When I hear a soft knock on my door, I expect Ezekiel.
Sorry to barge in.
It's a voice that does not belong to my executive assistant. I turn slowly. There's a limited amount of people permitted entrance to my office. Kayla Humes is one of those people. She prances into the room and shuts the door. Her straight ponytail swings like a pendulum, back and forth, as precise and cutthroat as she is. Kayla's about 5 years younger, but I admire her achievements as if she's my senior. Her matchmaking business is one that completely baffles me. I would never expect her matchmaking strategy to be relevant in this day and age. Apps and data-driven matches are the way of the future, but Kayla's proven that there is still a need, no, a demand, for human involvement in the process. I'm one of her success stories. She and the Make It marriage crew set me up with my wife, and then rallied around me after my life went to hell. Kayla habitually checks in on me, though we haven't spoken since the last time I brushed her off.
Are you okay?
Her voice is light and musical. I'd assumed she was a fresh college graduate if I didn't know she has 2 kids and a decade-long blissful marriage to Brendan Humes, a good friend of mine. I smile slightly because I know why she's here. She stares at the grin and freezes.
That's it. I'm calling an ambulance. There's no way you're okay.
Kayla, sit down. I gesture to the sofa. She doesn't take her worried eyes off me.
When Ezekiel called, I thought the worst.
Aren't you relieved then?
Is it terminal?
I'm not sick.
You're not admitting it?
I'm not sick, I say again. I called because I need your professional help. A heavy sigh rolls out of her slim body. She blinks as if my words just aren't computing.
What happened? Blunt trauma to the head?
You're not being very professional.
If this was about being professional, I wouldn't have driven over here like someone escaping from prison.
Nice visual.
I need a backstory.
Do you? I say lightly.
Nothing you do is random, Holland. You plan out what suit you're going to wear a week in advance.
I get a little red. It's not that bad.
Venus, Tierra, Amina, and I would disagree.
You and the other matchmakers are nosy.
Concerned.
Overbearing. She narrows her eyes.
We have been lightly suggesting.
You mean outright insisting? Her eyes sharpen on me.
Lovingly nudging.
Same thing. I wave away the argument.
The point is, we've been trying to get you back in the Make It Marriage database for years, and you always said no. It was a hard no. A never in a million years no. I thought for sure you wouldn't change your mind.
I'm ready now.
Why?
Does it matter?
Yes, it matters.
I think it's time. Her eyes light up. But you're not going to like the next part, I say. She wilts into the chair.
Let me sit down.
I don't want a marriage. Kayla's the only woman I know who can look at you like you're an idiot without it feeling insulting.
I see I'm wasting my time.
Make an exception.
Don't start barking at me.
She lifts a finger.
You know I don't play those games.
I laugh because she sounds like my grandmother, and I keep having to remind myself that she's younger than me. I'm willing to pay double.
You could give me half your estate, and that wouldn't change my answer.
Are you sure about that? Half my estate is a considerable sum. Nothing to sneeze at.
Don't brag. It's unsexy. And also, I have my own gorgeous billionaire. I don't need your scraps.
I roll my eyes.
Let's get back to the point.
She crosses one leg over the other and bounces her heels.
Make It Marriage is not an escort service. It's not a friends with benefits service. And you wouldn't need my help with that anyway.
She scans me, her nose scrunching.
I'm sure you have plenty of opportunities.
Is that a compliment?
That is an objective opinion based on my many years as a matchmaker.
I cut her some slack. You know I have more to consider. My eyes slide to a photograph on the desk. My only one. The ice around my stone-cold heart melts at just the sight of her. Belle, my reason for living. Her long brown hair is dancing in the breeze, and her gap-toothed grin beams at the camera. She's got her mother's smile, but her eyes, nose, and lips are all from my side of the family.
So rather than find a woman who can be a mother to Belle, you're going to find one you can sneak in through the back door when Belle's asleep?
My daughter has no understanding of adult matters.
Belle isn't stupid.
I know that. She's the smartest 4-year-old I've ever met. That's no exaggeration. Belle already has a sharp sense of self. Her favorite activity is gathering all her teddy bears for tea and conversation. She's a prodigy.
Holland.
Kayla. I mimic her dry tone. Before Kayla can lash into me, Ezekiel knocks on the door. He waits a moment before poking his head in.
I just got off the phone with Walt.
Kayla arches both eyebrows. Who's he? No one you need to know. I motion for Ezekiel to continue. He steps fully into the room and closes the door. I have bad news. I stiffen. Where is she?
Gone.
What do you mean, gone? A human being can't disappear into thin air.
Miss Jones stalked out of HR when Walt wasn't looking. She took her box of personal items and left. Security cameras show her exiting the premises and...
He reddens. What?
She knocked over one of the ferns on her way out. Just kicked it down.
I can't help it. I laugh. Ezekiel's eyes nearly pop out of his head. Kayla shoots to the edge of her seat.
Explain that.
She points at me and gives Ezekiel a worried look.
Explain this.
I don't know if I'm at liberty.
Now I'm even more curious. Holland, who's the fern killer, and why are you laughing?
Ezekiel. I motion for him to explain.
Her name is Kenya Jones, and she is Alistair's new assistant. A second one?
Only for Belle's beauty.
She destroyed private property And you're hiring her to lead Claire's company?
I shake my head. Not lead. She'll assist. Ezekiel exchanges a look with Kayla.
Miss Jones and Alistair had a verbal spar today. She had the guts to put you in your place?
I was instructed to screw myself. Ezekiel pulls his lips in. Kayla snorts.
I don't know whether to be impressed or scared.
That is exactly why I want her on the team.
Not just on the team. You're putting her at the helm of Belle's Beauty.
I'm the one at the helm. She'll only assist.
You leave a lot of tasks to Ezekiel's care. It'll be the same with her.
Not this time. I lift a hand. I've been disappointed with the management companies, which is my fault. I wanted to be hands-off with Belle's Beauty because I don't have the time to handle it. I should have known it was better to do things myself. Now that I'm more involved, I want someone who can meet my high standards.
And this girl, who clearly has an anger management problem, is the solution?
Kayla sounds unconvinced.
I don't understand.
She's more than capable.
It doesn't matter how good her resume is. An attitude like that is tough to work with.
Her resume is not that impressive either, Ezekiel mutters. I slant him a "whose side are you on" look. She's got a good track record.
And not an MBA in sight.
I frown at him. I didn't expect you of all people to be so stuffy.
You're the one who created the rules. The only applications you've ever considered are those with awards and degrees from top universities.
Kayla lowers her voice.
Does she have something on you, Holland?
She has practical skills and the ability to triple sales in any store she's placed in. I want her to clone herself. That's all.
He's adamant,
Ezekiel confirms, as if Kayla can't already hear it in my voice.
You fought with her.
Kayla rubs her chin. We had a difference of opinion. I correct her.
And right after that, you call me and reestablish a link with Make It Marriage.
I don't like the conclusions she's jumping to, even if they're right. Miss Jones's pedigree is a little lacking, but I believe her work experience can make up for it. I've tried employing someone with more knowledge than on-the-job experience. It drove Belle's Beauty into the ground. We're near obscurity, not to mention our dwindling sales. This woman is a breath of fresh air. I grab the binder with Kenya Jones's evaluations and flip it open. Kayla ignores it.
You're attracted to her.
I'll see myself out for this part. Ezekiel backs away. Don't run, Ezekiel. I'll need you to confirm that I'm not the crazy one here.
That's exactly why I must leave, he says dryly. Would you like coffee brought in, Kayla? I'm good. Thanks. I'm about to tear into him, and I think I'll be full after.
Ezekiel nods. Very well. He shuffles out of the room and closes the door softly behind him. You realize you just threatened me. I arch both eyebrows at Kayla.
Why did you promote a sales clerk to head manager of Belle's Beauty?
She's different. Kayla presses her lips together.
I'm insulted you thought that was the answer I was looking for.
It's the only answer you'll get. She folds her arms over her chest. I mimic the position. Ms. Fern Smasher may not be the most conventional choice for this position, but I know my instincts. I trust them. They've gotten me this far, and I believe what my gut is telling me about Kenya Jones. Other parts of my body have things to say too, but I'll learn to ignore them. Kayla picks up her purse.
I'm denying your request to rejoin Make It Marriage.
But I asked so nicely.
You're running from whatever that girl is making you feel, and we're not a distraction from that. You can find your own means of coping.
She yanks her purse over her shoulder.
But if she ever wants a consultation, You can let her know that Make It Marriage will be happy to provide our services. On the house.
My good mood evaporates, and my smile flattens. Don't threaten me, Kayla.
The fact that you consider my words a threat tells me way more than you'd like, Holland.
I stare her down. She smiles prettily.
I'm glad you're finally moving on. But it'll end in disaster if you can't be honest with yourself.
I am honest with myself. Kenya Jones will be working closely with me because she has the skills to do so. Anything beyond that is off limits.
Want to spend more time with Alistair and Kenya? Visit niaarthurs.com/subscribe. We hope you have enjoyed this production of Grumpy Romance.